Hello and welcome to this tutorial on using JetEngine's relations feature and nested listings to create a three-level structure that mimics the functionality of a nested repeater. The resulting setup dynamically groups data based on the top-level selection, offering the flexibility to update or expand the structure without directly modifying individual posts. As always, feel free to post your questions and share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video if you find it helpful. For this demonstration, I'll use an example structure with website-registered users, their roles, and projects. At the moment, users on my site have a single public profile page created with the JetEngine's profile builder, accessible from the All Users page, which holds a listing grid with user listings. This single user profile page currently displays only basic bio information. What I want to achieve is to display user roles in a listing grid, and within that grid show the projects they're involved in using another nested listing grid. This setup requires establishing parent-child relations between users and roles, as well as between roles and projects. Provided we already have the top-level entity of our structure, which is users, which already have their dedicated listings made, let's start by creating two custom post types. Navigate to WordPress dashboard, JetEngine, Post Types, and hit the Add New button. The first custom post type will be called Team Roles, and I'll also add one custom meta field named Role Description to store brief information about each role. Similarly, I'll create another CPT called Team Projects, with a select meta field named Project Status for tracking progress. Next, we'll set up relations to connect the grandparent, parent, and child in our three-layer structure. To do this, go to WordPress dashboard, JetEngine, Relations, and click on the Add New button. On the Edit Relation page, we'll name the first relation Users to Team Roles. Here, we'll set Users as the parent object and Team Roles CPT as the child object. We'll also choose the many-to-many relation type to allow multiple users to be linked to multiple roles. Next, we enable the Allow to create new children from parent and Allow to delete children from parent options. This allows us to create and modify roles directly from the user editing page, making the process more efficient. We'll also add a meta field for this relation skill level. Unlike the custom meta fields added to the custom post type, which apply to all posts of that type, these meta fields are specific to the current relation for one specific post. Now let's click Add Relation and proceed to create the second relation, named Roles to Projects. Set the parent object to Team Roles and child object to Team Projects, and choose the relation type as many-to-many. For this relation, make sure to select the parent relation as the previously created Users to Team Roles relation to connect the two relations together. Just like before, enable the options to create or delete child posts from the parent post. Additionally, you can enable the option to allow modifying the parent post directly from the child objects. For the Roles to Projects relation, I'll also add such meta fields as start date and end date with the date field type, and task assigned and progress notes with the text area field type, and press the Add Relation button to finalize the creation of relations. For the next step, we'll create posts for the roles and project CPTs we've made. We can do this directly from their related objects, so let's head to User Editing page and scroll down to the new section called Children Team Roles. This section has two buttons, Add New Team Roles and Connect Team Roles. The second button is useful if we already had the Team Roles post created, but since we don't, we'll click the first button to easily create a new role post. We'll name it UX Designer and fill in the meta field data for the relation created between this user and the role post type. Additionally, you can update the post data itself, not just the relation metadata. To do this, click the Edit Action button and then add a description in the relevant post meta field. Let's also modify another user's settings. Don't forget to press the Update User button after you're done. Next, we need to create child posts from the Team Role CPTs from their editing pages, which can be accessed either through the dashboard or by hitting the Edit button in the Children Team Roles section of the user's editing page. When we are on one of the role editors, we'll see the Parent section, which already shows connected users, and the Children section above it with no objects. Let's add 2 projects to the current user by clicking Add New Team Projects, filling in the title, and adding the relations meta fields with information about the start and end dates of the projects, tasks assigned for this user role regarding the project, and the project's progress notes. We'll repeat the same procedure for creating another project under this user role, inputting data into the relations meta fields again. Next, we'll switch to another role and add 2 projects that belong to it in the same way as we did before. So we're done with creating custom posts for roles and projects and setting up relations between users and roles and projects. We've also inserted information about each unique role and custom post. Now, to correctly source the child data relevant to each parent object, we need to create relation-based queries and then use them to create listings. Head to the WordPress dashboard, JetEngine, Query Builder, and click the Add New button. We'll name the query Projects for Roles, as it will be used for displaying projects for each role, and choose the Post Query query type. In the General tab, under the Post Query section, we select the child post type, which is Team Projects in this case. Next, in the Post and Page tab, click the database icon next to the Post In field and choose the Related Items option to display advanced query settings. For the Form relation field, select the Team Roles to Team Projects relation. In the From Object field, choose Child Object to specify what we want to display, and in the Initial Object ID From field, select Current Object ID. Finally, click Apply and then Add Query. Next, we'll create a custom query for the Users to Team Roles relation to display the roles associated with each user. We'll name this query Roles for Users, and for the post type to display, we'll select Team Roles. In the Post and Page section, we'll choose the Related Items option for the Post In field. We'll select the Users to Team Roles relation, set the object to display as Child Object, and for the Initial Object ID From field, select Current Object ID. Finally, click Apply and then Add Query to complete the setup. Now we need to create 2 listings, one to display projects within Team Roles and another to embed Team Roles together with their connected projects within users. So we navigate to the WordPress dashboard, JetEngine Listings tab, and click the Add New button to create the first lower level listing. In the Setup Listing item pop-up, we select Query Builder as the listing source, set the first created query Projects for Roles as the query, and name the listing Projects Listing. For the listing view, I'll choose the Elementor editor, but the core functionality of nested listings doesn't depend on the editor you choose. After clicking the Create Listing Item button, we enter the editor, where we can use dynamic widgets to create templates for displaying data about projects or the relation between a project and a role. To display the project title, I'll use the dynamic field widget, selecting post term user object data as its source and title as the object type. Note that the title or any other dynamic information may not appear in the editor initially, since the template isn't connected to any specific role. To display relation metadata, we insert another dynamic field widget and select relation metadata as the source. In the Meta field dropdown, we choose the required custom field from the Team Roles to Team Projects relation. Keep in mind that if the data comes from a date field, you'll need to apply the format date callback. Also, ensure to modify the default value of the context field at the bottom and select the related item option for the relevant relation. For text or text area fields, no additional formatting is typically required. Although in my case, I'll use add paragraph text callback since I inputted text as a field and would like each point to appear on a separate line. If you need to include metadata from the child post, not the relation, use the dynamic field widget, set the source to metadata, and select the required meta field. For fields with a select type, as in my case, remember to format the data using the multiple select field values callback. You can also add static elements and style all listing components before publishing the template. We will now create a listing template to display the role's parent items, which will include a listing grid for the related children items, also called nested listing. In the Setup Listing Item pop-up, select the Query Builder option as the listing source, choose the roles for user's query, name the listing item, select the listing view, and click Create Listing Item button. Using dynamic fields, display the post and relation meta field values such as role title and skill level related to each role. Next, drag and drop the listing grid widget and select the previously created project's listing. Note that the preview won't be available yet. Customize the listing template components as you like and save your changes. Now all that is left is to insert the top-level listing we just created onto the user profile page using the listing grid widget. Additionally, we can also display the user role title in the user listings on the All Users page. To do this, use the dynamic field widget, set its source to object data, and in the object field dropdown select children from users' team roles. Once that is done, we can check the results on the front end. The website's user list now displays the user role data directly in the listing. On the single user page, various data is grouped into levels based on the related objects. The user role level includes information such as the role title and description from the post, as well as skill level data from the connected relation. The next level showcases two sections, as there are two projects linked to the user role above. Each project displays dynamic data from the relation meta fields and the project CPD itself. The same structure appears on the single pages of other users, with content dynamically updated based on their specific roles and related projects. While the final structure involves several steps to set up, it offers flexibility for future updates. You can easily add new projects or posts, link them to other objects through existing relations, or create new relations and display new data on the front end by using relations meta fields without modifying the original posts. Please share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up button to help boost our videos' visibility. Thank you for watching and see you next time.